All right, if you're new to drop shipping, I'm going to give you a clear plan of action on what it is, how it all works. I'm going to show you this product forecasting tool and walk you through on how to get started the proper way, okay, and help debunk a bunch of myths that you might be hearing and floating around out there in the e-commerce world. I've been at this for about 17 years now, helped thousands of students across the globe be super successful in their dropshipping endeavors and grow and scale their businesses past 5, 6, and 7 figures. And when you look at getting started, the very first step with all of this is to I'm going to map out 4 fundamentals right down here that you can understand and learn more about. And I'll help you, kind of weave this into understanding the goal here. Okay, I mean, obviously you want to make money, with e-commerce and drop shipping. This is how I started out 17 years ago. And I started out by first looking at this first fundamental, this desirable result that someone wants, that you're going to help them out with. And fundamentally, the intersection, between what you're good at and if you like it. Okay, when you intersect those two things right there, that's the best way of starting. What you don't want to do is start off with something that you're super passionate about, whatever the market is, but you're not good at, helping them, or you're not good at filling in the blank with, running a business. You got to learn those things if you're brand new, especially. And so, take stock of what you're good at. Okay, are you really great at customer service or research? And I'm sure you might be good at multiple things, And so you want to be clear about what those things are that you're really good at in business. Okay. And you want to be able to leverage those things that you're good at, your skills that you're strong at, okay? And then the second is the other intersection that, there's passion, there's what you like, okay, and what you're good at. Okay, you got to like it. And if you're going to go into a market such as pets, like helping people with their dogs or cats or whatever, right? You want to be able to like it and make a lot of money doing it, okay? And money is going to come secondary. The first thing is getting clear about who you're going to help and what you're going to help them with. You got to enjoy that, okay? So you got to get clear about what you're good at, and also if you like it, okay, in that market. So the second thing is that market needs to be in demand. Very specifically, the demand for the solution is what we're talking about. Okay, I'm going to give you some examples right here in this forecasting tool, and then I'll give you this forecasting tool for free afterwards, and you can use this to be able to crunch the numbers and see where you could potentially be at with your dropshipping business. Okay, so just know that the second fundamental in getting started and growing a successful and enjoyable dropship business is that it needs to be in demand. Okay. And I'm connecting that specifically to the result that people want to pay you for. Okay, if you're going to help people in the pet market, for example, with an issue very specifically of a pet that's passed away, and you're going to help them out with, let's say, there's a unique product on the market that you could source from a supplier, and I'll have all kinds of suppliers you can access inside of Dropship Excel over here. If you go over to dropshipexcel.com and come down here to the very bottom of the footer, there's a section right here where it says 86 free supplier list. Okay, right here. You click on that, and you'll be taken over here to this page where you can put your name and email in. You'll get access to the full list of the 86 verified suppliers that I've already researched, and then you'll be able to get your jump start in the right direction on finding suppliers. It's obviously not going to have all suppliers on the planet under here, but it'll at least get your feet wet and point in the right direction. And then, of course, if you need help with finding a very specific supplier for your niche, then you just book a call with me and I'll help you out. Okay. So number one, desirable result that you're going to help someone with. Okay. You got to identify an ongoing need that people have. When you're helping them with a desirable result, it's that they desire that result you're going to help them with. Okay, if they're in a situation in this context of their pet passing away, their dog just passed away, and you want to be able to help them out with remembering their pet ongoing and keeping the memory of that, of their dog alive. Then you could look at pet urns or these plaques, that have paw prints in them. And there's a lot of customized solutions that you could source and dropship and sell to them. That's an ongoing need because there's always going to be pets, and there's always going to be an ongoing need of having consolation, that comfort, that assurance of, hey, my pet's passed away, but I want to keep the memory alive. Okay, that's a very clear example of an ongoing need, and especially if it's an emotional need, okay, a desirable result that is more emotional. If it's more emotional, then you have way better chances, okay, of making a lot more money because people are willing to pay more money to get that problem solved or that need or that result achieved, okay? So we've already discussed demand. There's a whole train I have on this subject of researching and identifying the demand on your products and your niche and so forth. But for right now, I'm just going to cover the basics right now and give you some examples. The unique best solution is when you identify a solution that is going to solve their need or give them that result specifically, that's what you're looking for, okay? And we'll talk more about that. And then lastly, the profitability. You can't really find the profitability or establish that until you get approved with a supplier. So a lot of people go over to like AliExpress, for example, and get their start there. I don't have any issues with just getting started with AliExpress. You could go find all kinds of, products over there and then increase the price on them and go retail them. But the issue with that is ongoing in the future. There's going to be some problems that you'll face with customers who can just find the product on AliExpress. I don't really do personally a lot of retailing from sourcing products from AliExpress, but a lot of other people do, and I've had a lot of other students have a lot of great success do that same thing, okay? Especially at the very start of getting your feet wet and learning how to sell something, okay? You don't have to get approved with anybody over here. You just come over here and sign up, and it's free. You just access any of these products, and then of course you could use different aggregators for your supplier fulfillment, okay? And I'll talk more about that in a later discussion. But anyways, if you were to source a product right here, you could buy it for $4.87, for example, and sell it for $12 or $15 or $20. And there's all kinds of pet urns, and there's all kinds of varieties. And so in a different training, I'll go in more depth about product selection. But today, I just wanted to get your feet wet, help you understand the basics of dropshipping, how to understand how it operates, the fundamentals you need to understand to build upon. Okay, what you don't want to do is you don't want to just set up a WooCommerce site or a Shopify site and then slap up a bunch of products on there thinking that you're going to make money. And, it just doesn't work that way, okay? So you got to get clear about the people-centric dropship business, okay, is what I have discovered over the almost 17 years and helped thousands of other students do the same thing. You got to keep it focused on the people, not the product first. And the product is going to be the solution, but the people obviously have the money that you want, and you just got to focus in on what's the result that they want, what's the desirable result that you're going to help them with, okay? And then from there, everything gets easier because you can customize the solution to them, okay? So when you look at, let's just say that you've identified an desirable result that you want to help the audience with, and let's just say that it's the pet urn solution, okay? So you go find a pet urn that you could sell for around, $15, $30, somewhere around dollars. And there's some higher end ones too. You could go search around, see one right here for 66. You could see some really solid solutions that are more unique, and you're looking for unique, okay? You don't want to just source a product that is just, humdrum, boring, or people can even buy it easily at like a Chewy's or a Pet Mart store, okay? You want to look at the uniqueness of it, and it needs to serve the very specific issue that they're going through, okay? But in this example, in the pet earn example, okay, let's just say that the we're going to crunch the numbers on this, okay? So let's say we came over here and we identified this. I think that would be a really cool product right here, okay? Because I like wood. I love if I had the desire of getting an earn for my pet, and I did have a pet, a Cairn Terrier just 2 years ago that passed away. And if I was into this, then hey, this looks pretty cool because I like wood. And so I would look at this. I would go look at the market. I would see, hey, what's the market bearing for this? What's the demand, so forth. I would check all those things out. But let's say everything checks out, and I end up selling this for $100. Okay. So I make about $50, but let's just say we can buy it for $48.57, and we're gonna go put it out here. Okay, the retail price I'm just gonna put for $99 here. Okay, and the customer who pays shipping. Okay, this is how you use the product forecasting tools. You want to just crunch the numbers. We're gonna just put in an example here of the one piece. Private custom pet cremation urn, okay? And put it right here. This is an example of a small ticket product. And if you've ever hear about people talking about, oh, you have to do small ticket or low ticket or high ticket, it's just bogus, okay? It has nothing to do with, the product first, okay? It's first the people centric. Got to focus on the people, and then look at the best solution. And you might end up coming across that it's going to be the best solution to have a couple products that help them out, with their ongoing need, okay, their desirable result. They might want to have a pet urn along with maybe a necklace or something that's more higher end, like jewelry or something. And we'll get into high ticket in just a minute, but the crunch the numbers, okay, let's say we sold that product for $99. The customer, who's pay shipping? Me, I'll just offer it for free shipping, okay? So the shipping over here with AliExpress, free shipping right here, you see that? So we'll just mark that as 0, okay? If the customer was paying shipping, then obviously you could change that, and say the customer will pay shipping, okay? Then other fees, we're going to skip the COGS. This is the cost of goods sold, which is the product cost and the shipping. So since it's free shipping and the cost of the product is that 48, we saw this to be 48.57. Okay, we're gonna type that in here. Okay, so you can see here that the transaction fee. This is if you're using Stripe or a payment processor like PayPal, is typically around 3% plus, and so this is the percentage right here. If that changes, you can change that, but every transaction, every sale that you make, you'll pay about $3.27 in a fee to your payment processor. And then over here, you can see that if you made a sale just organically, okay, and an organic sale is a sale that came from just naturally from like Google, for example, or Bing, or social media like Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, okay, or YouTube. These are all things that if you create content and they find you naturally, then that would be an organic sale, okay? And so if you did that, if someone just found you naturally, you would make $47 every time you made a sale on this, okay? It just crunches the numbers for you. It just makes it simple for you, okay? So your profit margin here is 47.6%. And if all you did was just focusing on organic marketing, you could do really well. And I teach all my students how to do organic marketing effectively by creating amazing content that helps people engage with the solution for their problem, okay? Now, from there, okay, if you did paid marketing on top of organic, that's what I'd suggest you do, and that's exactly what I do myself and help all my students do as well. It's not required, but it's definitely very powerful if you can afford it. So if you can afford somewhere around $5 to $20 a day to start with your paid marketing campaign, like on Meta or Google shopping ads, then you can get feedback and get data very quickly because you're paying for your traffic. So when you look at your number crunching here on paid campaign, Okay, you can see here that, hey, if I were to forecast, and these are not exact numbers, but you'll find out what you'd be paying on your cost per click, okay, each time you generate traffic from the source that you launch it on once you launch the campaign. Okay, once you go to Meta or Google and elsewhere, after you launch the campaign, then you'll discover your cost per click. But let's just say that, this is an industry standard. 1 person out of 100 people would buy, okay? And that would be, really, really average. I mean, very common, okay? If you just present a solution to their problem, then typically out of 100 people who click, 1 person will buy, okay? And so if you're paying 45 cents roughly per click, every time someone clicks on your ad, and let's say you set a goal right here, okay? I'm going to say a weekly goal, okay, of say 50 sales. Okay, it's going to cost you $2,200 in your traffic to pay for that traffic, okay, for those ads to run and get the traffic, but you'll end up netting $108. Not really a lot to be excited about, but hey, at least you're profitable. And what you want to keep in mind is that even though you pay for the customer and you're barely making, you're barely breaking even, you're a little profitable, right? $108 profitable with those numbers. If you just increase the conversion rate, and even if the cost per click went up, let's say we jumped this up to 3%, okay? Just by having a sales page that's more effective and those people convert, now you're getting 3 people out of 100 people buying. It goes from 108 to 1,600, in a given month. Now you're getting some pretty good income. Okay, this is net income after everything is paid, and the cost of your traffic goes down too if you increase your conversion. Okay, you don't need as many people to buy to reach your 50 sales goal in a given week. So obviously you want to keep on increasing the traffic investment the more sales you make, and those are things that we get into and master in the launching and growing and scaling campaigns. But the main thing is that you're just understanding how dropshipping works and where this goes and where it needs to go fundamentally. Okay, you got the 4 fundamentals. You're choosing a product that solves a problem. You help them out. You present the product professionally and effectively, and we'll get into that in a different training, okay? But right now, you just need to know your numbers before you get started is the key here, okay? You got to know your numbers, and these are not exact, but these are exact, okay? You're not going to get exact on the paid campaign numbers, okay? You'll just have a rough estimate. You'll know more precisely once you launch the campaign, okay? But anyways, this is where you could be at, okay, with shooting for a goal of, say, 50 sales in a given week. And that's the target to fundamentally reach, so you have enough data to build upon to scale. Okay, if you just have 1 or 2 sales in a given week, then these campaigns on Meta and Google don't have enough data to scale. So that's what I suggest you focus in on, is get your first 50 sales generated in a given week time period. Okay, and then you can build and scale from there. So when you look at the number crunching over here, okay, you can see here that, hey, if you have one pilot product that you can sell really well because it's focused on a person's ongoing need, they desire that result highly, okay, then you're on a track of making some good income, okay? 1,600 is a great part-time income for many people throughout the world. But if you want to go higher, if you want to be more ambitious, okay, then obviously I can show you how to do that. One thing I do want to point out here is that with the organic sales, okay, if you combine the powers of organic with paid, then you're going to, of course, make more money. And you don't have to pay for your traffic over here on organic if you do the work yourself. If you're creating excellent content that's engaging and that's helpful for people on Instagram and YouTube and so forth, and people are loving it, okay, you can start to make 50 sales in a given week just organically for free. And it doesn't cost you this money right here. This is, of course, the investment you pay for paid traffic. But for your organic, you combine with your paid, and you're making almost $4,000, $3,966, okay, in a given month, if you just focus on making 50 sales in both streams, okay, 50 sales from paid and then 50 sales for organic, okay? So for 100 sales in a given week, okay? If you make 100 sales, you're making 4,000 net income in a given month, okay? And then lastly, I want to be able to shine the light on where you'd want to go with this if you're more ambitious, okay? If you're just looking at making some side income, then this might be plenty sufficient for you, okay? You have to set your lifestyle goals. You got to have a big reason why. Like, why are you building this business? What's the drive? If you're not clear about those things, let me know. I'll help you out, okay? But let me point out here that if you had a smaller ticket item like this, okay? I mean, it's not super small, but it's kind of like mid-tier. But if you have a higher ticket product, okay, you could brainstorm and do some research. And even if you look at your own life, okay, if you have it on pet yourself and you have a solution that you think, man, that would be really awesome, or else maybe you've already purchased that product or would love to buy a product that's higher end, you know, then you could do some identification and research of what that product would be. And let's just say that it's a product that is complementary to a pet urn, okay, and you're selling for $800. Customer gets the shipping for free in this case, okay? We'll just put 0 here, and if you could buy that product for 600, sell it for 800, obviously you're making a good profit over here, okay? Transaction fee, same process we discussed here with this on the lower ticket product, but you're making $173 per sale. A lot more money, obviously, because it's a higher ticket product than the smaller ticket product, but you can see here that even though it has a smaller profit margin, you're netting more money, okay? And so when you combine these two together, you're approaching more of a holistic approach to your customer's ongoing need, okay? And that's where you want to go, okay? People who have, like in this context of a pet, you know, like a dog passing away and they want to feel consoled, comforted, and so forth, this could be a piece of jewelry, like I mentioned earlier, a really nice piece of jewelry, or obviously something else. Nothing's coming to my mind right now on that subject, but so the bottom line here is that you're approaching the service of your audience holistically, not just thinking that, okay, this is not just a one and done product site, you know. You're bringing another product in that helps them out with another unique need. Just like when you go rent a car, when you go travel, they don't just rent you the car, they also upsell you into insurance and a larger car, or a more desirable car, you know, like a Porsche or a nicer car, you know, to serve your ego or something, you know, or to just enjoy it, you know, to have fun, you know, in a nicer car. Instead of a Ford, you could get a Porsche or something, okay? You're doing the same thing here. You know, you're helping your audience out. And so same process when you do organic and paid, you're trying to get traffic. You could also partner with people, and I teach that as well. But you set your goal, and let's just say you made a goal of 10 sales per week, okay? You invest $250 to get that traffic right here, 333 people. So 3 people out of 100 people are buying. Okay, you're already now on the track of just with your page traffic, okay? If you're making 10 sales each week and 50 sales for this product, just these 2 products alone are going to help you reach your target goal of 160,000 in a given year, okay? You know, when you go look at the combination of your paid and organic traffic, it's looking pretty nice, okay? So, you know, when you look at the combination of organic and paid, it feeds off of each other, okay? And so that's what you want to keep in mind, is you don't want to just only do paid or only do organic if you're really aggressive and you want to be around long term. If you want to have a brand, if you want to have a dropship business that's around for the years to come, then do both, okay? So hopefully this training helps you out with getting the clarity that you need to understand what dropshipping is, how it works, where you could be at with your numbers, what you need to do fundamentally to get started properly. And again, if you need help, just reach out to me, book a call, go over here to Dropship XL. Just come over here to one-on-one mentoring, and you can book a free 30-minute call with me. And even if you don't do any business with me at all, I'm happy to just help you out and get you started on the right track. You just go through here and answer a couple questions. Let me know what your situation is here, okay? Just some of basic info, what your goals are, and so forth. And then once you do that, you'll be taken over to my calendar. You can book a call on my calendar, and then we can see if you're shooting for a long-term sustainable brand or just some side money. I'll customize a plan for you, and then if there's a good fit for mentoring, we can talk about that if that's what you're looking for. Okay, I don't accept everybody. I work with 12 students at a time, and there's not always spots available, but if there is, then we can talk about it and see if there's a good customized solution for you to work with me one-on-one. Okay, so with that said, guys, let's unite and conquer. Okay, go after it. You have plenty of opportunity to be able to use the tools that you're at your disposal by using these fundamentals to make your income that you want, okay, and create the lifestyle that you desire. Okay, talk soon.